Yeah, sorry guys. Big Rye won't be doing a lot of talking because he feels under the weather today.
What's up, YouTube? It's the NFL Divisional Round Picks Against the Spread video for the 2019 NFL season. Fat Guy, let's start off with the picks against the spread for the NFL playoffs so far. 4 games in, 1 draw, and we have 5 teams going 3-0-1. You want to talk about these 5?
Yeah, why not? Let's go with Glock Lesnar, I guess live stream contributor. Usually jumps in on the live streams we usually have during the primetime games. Ashley Schaefer's BMW.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought it was Ashley Schaefer's Kia though.
It just depends. It depends when you were a fan.
He got the BMW dealership back. Good for him. We're going to go with Koala 01. I know it's not Koala, but I just want it to be Koala because that's how I'm going to read it. Hobbled Goblin versus Fat Guy Slim, a battle for the ages. We will touch on that name once again later. And Sir Mix-a-Lot, well, baby is back apparently, 3-0-1.
Let's take a look at the overall leaderboard where Jake Jacobs, picked last, is still first place. Only 2 games above Richard, though. E-Steelers, 144 wins versus 142. We're in 3rd place, 137. We also have Detroit one time at 136. Dylan and Mickey, who we'll touch on later, tied at 134 still. Playoffs are very key for them. Satuple, Captain Savaho, Half Moon's Picks, fellow YouTuber, as well as one of our favorites, T-Shirt Time 101.
T-shirt time. Look at that winning percentage, guys. It's just amazing. Amazing. He's picked that many less games and he's in the running. He's in the running. I'm pretty sure JJ is going to have it overall picked last as he did win the regular season. Looking good so far, though.
Next up, let's take a look at our career. 334, 295, and 19 on YouTube, just above the Fat Guy's Toque. 53.7% winning percentage. Fat Guy, how you feeling about that?
Glad you called it a toque. We'll touch on that as well. This is good. Like I said, every week I'll take this percentage. The problem is it's going to be hard to like increase it or dent it at this point. We're going to need a good season next year to up that one. That's for sure.
Let's take a look at the JS715 name of the week. Honorable mentions. Fat Guy, I'll let you touch on these.
Playoffs. Don't talk to me about playoffs. So that's a fabled coach with a fabled quote. There was another name that touched on this, but he only put playoffs with a question mark. I got to give to the elongated version. There's a fire in the kitchens. I see what you did there. Philly Blunt versus Garcia Vegas Raiders at Mile High. I can't really recall what that touches on, but I'm sure it's funny, and we're going to find out later. Hobbled Goblin versus Fat Guy Slim, a battle for the ages. I have a weight bet with Hobgoblin, one of the contributors of this show. So, Sam, I'm coming for you. It's a $1,000 bet. Who can lose more weight from January 1st to December 1st? So stay tuned to the Fat Guy's potential weight loss. Ashley Schaefer's BMW. Again, I thought it was a Kia dealership, but I could be mistaken. January Corpse of the Public. Perhaps some positive foreshadowing, although I wouldn't hold your breath. Too lazy for a good name. I had to round it out with something. Unfortunately, I chose that one.
I've always enjoyed it off stream, but you rolling that Garcia really got me on stream as well.
Garcia.
Next up, the JS715 name of the week.
The Beanie Toque Conspiracy. Now, what I'm currently wearing is not a beanie. We're Canadian. We created this. It's a toque. Okay, and toque sounds a lot cooler than beanie. Let's be realistic here. Not that Big Rye or I are any sort of authorities on cool. We're on the Mount Rushmore of losers, I would say. But it is a toque. I am wearing a toque. That's why I chose this hat, is because it is a toque, not a beanie. No conspiracy needed. It's a toque. Everyone start calling it a toque.
All right, Fat Guy, compete in the divisional round against us. You can find us at BigRyanTheFatGuy.com, or the link will be below in the description. And the bet of the century, part 3, Fat Guy. This ended a little bit earlier than I think anybody expected.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Saints not able to get it done at home versus the Vikings. Now, you can say what you want about the referees. We've just heard this too many times. I think it's a boy who cried wolf a little bit, eh? So we're going to go with, we haven't received Dylan's video of him drinking a glass of milk filled with his delicate hair clippings as well as his armpit hair. But that I was promised that it is on the way, so it should happen. As of Monday, though, Monday at just past noon, it has not been fully...
We haven't got it.
We haven't got it. So the ball's in your court, Dylan. We're waiting for you. That will be posted in the next video, though, assuming he follows through with his grand wager. Mickey, congratulations for putting it up. Thanks for winning one for the team. Yeah. He risked the money, and hopefully we can let the fruits of our labor just drip down, the juices from it, at least.
That's disgusting. All right, Fat Guy, on to the divisional round picks. Let's start on Saturday, 4:35 p.m. Eastern time start. The Minnesota Vikings travel to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers are 6.5-point favorites. 70% of early bettors are on San Fran. About 5% of this betting market has been bet. We're looking at about 4,000 bets. We're probably expecting just over 70,000. Fat Guy, who you got?
Well, you just said it best. I mean, there's only, 4,000 bets? I'm looking right now, just under 4,000. There's going to be 70. So this is a pretty early market indication. We're going to be taking the Vikings clearly here. It's, I guess, a contrarian play. Not that many people on it. There is actually more money per capita on the Minnesota Vikings. I like this as a small play, as a contest pick for sure. It's not a huge gambling play. I think we might have missed the boat a little bit. The line was at 7.5 in some places too.
Yeah.
The juice was a little tough though on that 7.5. So I mean 7-ish. We'll call it 7 at 7 consensus, let's say, which is a number that I much prefer. 7.5 and 3.5 are my favorite numbers. 6.5 I don't love as much. I'm still going to be betting, putting a little bit of sprinkle a few dollars on the Minnesota Vikings, but it's not with the confidence I would have at 7.5. 7.5, this would be a gold star, I would say. Well, or a lock. I hate the term lock. For every lock, there is a key. Everyone knows that. Anyways, this is a Minnesota Vikings play at at plus 6.5. Got to congratulate the Vikings with a nice road win against the New Orleans Saints. I read a nice CBS article, which is right before the game. It said it was that the computer picked the Saints to win, and there's very low chance that the Vikings could lose. This algorithm they have at CBS. Now I'm just picking out, a one sample, but interesting. Of all the articles I've read this year, garbage public supporting articles, this was the one that came out supporting the Vikings, and I find it very interesting. They need an algorithm just to do a linear win probability between a point spread and the win probability attached. I like how they need a whole algorithm to do that. Big Rye can do that, and I can do that on a Google Sheet. Not exactly the toughest of things. Anyways, I like the Minnesota Vikings here at plus 6.5 for a small bet, and I definitely like them in the contest as well. Niners had a week off. Let's see how they do. And if we're going to talk, we got a little bit extra time. We only got 4 games. If we're going to talk handicapping perspective, I want to see how the Niners defensive line, which has been pretty heralded this year against I'm going to say weak pass pro Vikings line. Vikings might be able to run on the Niners, though. That'll be interesting as well. Niners have been able to run the ball with malice against pretty much every team. This Vikings defense had a really good showing, I felt, against the New Orleans Saints. I'm hoping they get the same thing against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go Vikes. Purple and gold, as Prince would say. So the Vikings and the points will be the pick today.
And an interesting market thing is the game opened at 7. It's been bet down to 6.5, even though only 30% of bettors are on the Vikings. So a little bit of a reverse line movement for the Minnesota Vikings. Early on, it looks like a nice bet. Like the Fat Guy said, just a couple shekels. Don't bet the entire bankroll on this one.
Proverbial farm.
And I'm going to add on to this, Fat Guy, as well. A lot of people are down on the playoffs this year. But to me, this is easily a 5-star entertainment game. You got the Minnesota Vikings just coming off a big upset. You have the number 1 seed, San Francisco 49ers. Is there a team better than the Niners? I don't know.
Well, you're sure rocking the apparel there, Big Rye. I didn't think he was a closet Niners fan. I knew he was in the closet, but not as a Niners fan.
Enough of this, Fat Guy. Let's go on to the next Saturday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time start. Tennessee Titans travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens are 9-point favorites at home. Pretty even early betting percentage splits here. 54% are on the Ravens. Fat Guy, who you got?
Well, contest pick is going to be the Titans. I probably will end up putting a few shekels on the Titans. I'm going to say yes, maybe even a little bit less than the Vikings. I have a lot of trepidations about this week. I don't think this is a great betting week, to be honest. Tennessee, 9 points. I mean, it's pretty standard Fat Guy pick here. I don't love it as much. Something about the market of this line just is sour in my mouth.
Yeah, we talked about it on the live stream. This actually opened at 10. I'm surprised it's been bet down to 9 quite early on. I got a feeling a lot of sharps are on Tennessee. Couple of squares jumping on Baltimore, but the books are scared of Baltimore. This is a very, very high line.
It is. It really is. But if anything, this, like, from a handicapping perspective, this should be a low-scoring game, you know. Bit colder weather, outdoor, 2 running teams. Running teams with very good play action. Both teams have good secondaries, though. I quite like the Tennessee secondary. My favorite safety in the league, favorite secondary player in the league, Kevin Byard. And, of course, on the other side, you have 2 All-Pros, Marcus Peters as well as Marlon Humphreys, although I don't know how Marcus Peters became an All-Pro. But anyways, interceptions seem to be the theme to making the Pro Bowl, especially because they're fan voting. Yeah. Nevertheless, they are scared of Baltimore. They've been burned by Baltimore. I mean, I guess that's a way of looking at it. I really, in my heart of hearts, feel this is a 6.5-point game. You know, maybe 6 for the Baltimore Ravens. Aesthetically, it's going to be tough against the Titans. If Big Brandon Williams is going to be matching up on the nose right against Derrick Henry. If anyone can stop that load of a man, Derrick Henry, it could possibly be Brandon Williams. All that handicapping aside, the market slightly favors the Titans, who have more dollars per capita on them, as well as the lower betting percentage. So I am going to be taking them in the contest, and perhaps a very small sprinkle in the betting markets. But I don't love this game. Something about this market scares me. Closer to, there could be some intrigue as far as public betting with the Baltimore Ravens. You could wait on this line, and hopefully it's able to creep back up to 10 and give me the confidence of putting more dollars on the Titans than I normally would have.
5-star entertainment game for sure. Tennessee Titans. Who doesn't want to watch the Titans? Who doesn't want to watch the Ravens? You got Derrick Henry, and you have Lamar Jackson, 2 of the best rushers in the game. 5-star entertainment value, fat guy. Take this one home. Skip whatever you're doing Saturday night. Watch this game. On to the next one. Sunday, early game, 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Houston Texans at Kansas City. Kansas City 9.5-point favorites at home. 52% of early bettors are on the Chiefs. Fat guy, who you got?
Well, I mean, it's just the same story almost as the Titans, but I'm going to say this is not a bet for me. I'll be taking the Houston Texans. I'll be taking the 9.5 points because 9.5 is a large number. If I were to bet on this, I'm going to need it to creep even more. It opened at 8. It's currently at 9.5 just a day later. I mean, clearly a lot of interest on the Chiefs. I really do think the Chiefs are a better team. Are they 9.5 points better? You guys know me. When in doubt, take the points, and this will be one of those situations, especially for the contest. I don't have the heart to bet on the Texans, rather. Texans and Titans, very easy to conflate the two, especially with the alliteration aspect and ending in an S like every other team in the NFL. That being said, I'm going to be taking the Houston Texans with the points. Interesting showing, interesting game against Buffalo. Now, we're going to have to give Mickey Hill a little bit of props here. He said he'd take the Texans -2.5 and the Bills +3.5. Kind of indicating that it could be a 3-score game, and 3-point game it was, not a 3-score game, rather. And maybe 3 points was equilibrium last week. That's why I said I worried about the juice. I always care about the juice. Care about the commission. Your break-even win rates change drastically by even a few points of juice between -110 and -120. All of that being said, Houston Texans +9.5, purely a contest pick. I'm going to start poking around. 10.5, I don't think I'll be able to resist if it does creep to that number. I'll be taking the Houston Texans. I'll be taking the 9.5 points in the contest, and I perhaps will wager, like I had mentioned, if the number does creep.
And I'm a little bit scared of this one market-wise. This one is one that you don't touch as of now. It's been there's been a steam move on Kansas City. They opened as 8-point favorites. They're up to 9.5. The bets are split pretty evenly, both with bet percentage, both with money percentage. It'll be interesting to see how this market fares as we continue throughout the week. We'll be taking a look at it a little bit later in the week and give you guys an update on what that market's looking like. On to the final Sunday night game, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time start. Seattle Seahawks travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. I just want to add that Houston-Kansas City game, it's going to be 5-star entertainment, no doubt. But on to this game, Packers 4-point favorites, 36% of early bettors are on the Packers. Fat guy, who you got?
Well, maybe I'm a jilted lover because my Eagles weren't able to do it with Josh McCown. Yes, they almost covered with Josh McCown. There's some credit due. But that game was the Eagles-Seahawks game was, from what I learned in the comment section, 100% chance of coming through for the Seahawks. And boy, do I have egg on my face.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that being said, am I going to go with the Seahawks this time? Of course not. I do think Russell Wilson's the best player in the league, but I don't care about that. I care about market factors. And this is the gold pick of the week. This will be the one I'm actually going to put some meat on. The Green Bay Packers. I'm going to lay the 4 points. Now, it opened at 3.5, and it moved to 4, despite more money per capita on the Seahawks. So definitely a reverse line movement, I would say. I mean, there's only 36% of the bets, currently 37, just a few moments after making that slide, and only 31% of the money. But the line moved from 3.5 to 4. I mean, it's not a big gap in percentages, but I really like the Packers this weekend. I really do. Now, that does seem a little bit biased because it would reinforce our Super Bowl bet as well as our conference championship bet. But Packers at home, this just seems right to me. It really does, especially with the way the market factors are. Clout is insanely high on the Seahawks, and clout is apparently low on the Green Bay Packers. Look at the betting markets. The Saints had shorter odds than the Packers did, despite having to play an extra game, which cost them, might I add. You guys all know what I'm talking about, especially Dylan Todd Field. Now, Jazz hands aside, this is a clear Packers play as far as the contest goes and in the betting markets. Give me the Packers. I'm going to lay the 4 points.
And this is definitely a 5-star entertainment game. I don't have to say this twice. Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field. 5-star game. Thank me later. All right, Fat Guy, on to the picks. Let's go through the lightning round. We're going to go through this one fast because we got a lot to cover. Minnesota Vikings at the San Francisco 49ers. Who you got?
Purple and gold.
Tennessee Titans at Baltimore Ravens. Who you got?
Baby blue color scheme.
Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got?
Uncle Sam's red, white, and blue.
And the Seattle Seahawks travel to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers.
The People's Packers.
Well, Fat Guy, that's it for us. Thank you for watching the 2019-2020 NFL Divisional Picks Against the Spread video. Fat Guy, your thoughts on this week? I know you mentioned on it earlier, but you're not crazy about betting this week.
I'm not. But that's part of being a pro, you know. It'd be hard to call me a professional at anything, both personally and aesthetically. If you're taking a look at me, if you drank me in visually, it's a problem. That's for sure. But being a pro is you know, you don't have to bet everything. You know, we're not doing this for enjoyment. I do enjoy making these videos. I do enjoy making these picks in the contest. But I care about the dollar more than I care about enjoyment. So I got to feed myself. And boy, is that a lot of food. So that being said, I feel like I've been saying that being said a lot. Well, I guess that's a new perfectly honest. I'm allowed to have an idiom, isn't everybody? That being said, I think this is one to be a little bit light on, much like Week 17, which turned out to be a small profitable week for us. I just really like the Green Bay Packers, and it's only one game sample, though anything could happen. Of course, I'm going to get a lot of love for the Seahawks in the comment section, hate for my pick on the Green Bay Packers, but I feel like this is the only true and strong betting opportunity right now, and I'd probably want to buy now at 4, to be honest. If it goes to 3.5, that'd be good too. If it goes to 3, fantastic. But Green Bay Packers is my bet of the week, pick of the week, all of that good stuff. The other ones I'm just not as crazy about.